Kintsugi, piecing life together. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Windows and Mirrors. Joining us today, we have a fourth-year psychology major who is also a member and leader of the Filipinx American Alliance community here at Berkeley. Throughout her journey at Cal, there are times she may have felt broken and defeated, but every hardship she faced was just another part of her becoming. Kintsugi literally means golden repair, and is the ancient Japanese art of joining together broken pieces with gold, creating something even more valuable than its original form. The lessons learned on her journey, the strength to overcome obstacles, and the people that love and support her are the gold that help piece her back together into a better, fuller person. This is her story.
So when I first came to Cal, I can honestly tell you that I had no idea what I was doing. It was a miracle I even enrolled for the right classes since I didn't attend Cal, so I only figured out how to do what I was supposed to do by watching my peers and following them. Even knowing whether or not I had homework was a mission because I wasn't used to navigating so many different portals and websites. Back in the day, we didn't have Cal Central and we had like 8 different websites for everything. I remember the first time I realized I had homework was because I saw my floor mate in the dorms doing chem homework and said, "Hey, aren't we in the same class?" It seemed as though there was so much to get done, but had no access to the list of things that had to be done. I was nervous and stressed and anxious about not even knowing what it is that I didn't know. No one ever really tells you that you can't really prepare for college. I mean, you can practice good study habits before coming here and ask all your older friends what it's like, but you don't really understand the full experience of being a college student, especially a Cal undergrad, until you've been here and felt the mix of joy and freedom with the feelings of looming responsibility and worrying if you're good enough or doing enough to prove that you deserve to be here. You're away from home for the first time. You have all this freedom from not having a 7-hour daily class schedule. You're in a sea of new people eager to make new friends and enjoy college experience. But it's also the first time where you truly have agency over your decisions and actions. In some ways it's great, and in other ways it's completely scary. For the first year of college, problems happened with my family which resulted in me being estranged from them and leaving me to support myself alone as a college student. On average, I worked 20 plus hours a week while balancing about 15 units in club responsibilities and other commitments. Having A's and B's while being in sports and choir and hella clubs in high school, I guess I thought I had the whole time management thing down, and I didn't really believe that Berkeley was as hard as everyone said it was. That was until I took Chem 1A. I hated that class so much. I would study so hard for it and still not understand or get the results I wanted from the work I put in. It was the first time I ever felt so unsure of myself, as if I wasn't as smart as I thought I was, and I felt like I didn't belong here. Fast forward to sophomore year, I was no longer as clueless as I was on the first few weeks of school, but of course I still had a lot to learn. Thanks to the loving support of the Filipino community here, I gained a strong network of social support from some of my best friends and received guidance from some great mentors. Despite having such a great support system, however, the transition to college was still extremely difficult. By second year, my family problems rose to the point where I hadn't spoken to my mom for 6 months and felt really depressed from the lack of support from my family. I also had just broken up with my boyfriend of 3 years from high school. To top it all off, I was still struggling with my pre-med science classes and continued to feel as though I didn't belong on this campus. It felt like none of my friends could understand what I was going through, and I became a bit resentful of their supportive families and enjoyable classes. At some point, I hit an all-time low where I could no longer handle the stresses of school and family and life in general. That's when one of my best friends and mentors forced me to go to EOP, the Educational Opportunity Program here on campus. He even emailed the counselor himself regarding my situation, so I had no excuse to not go. Back then, the notion of asking for help was impossible to me. I was conditioned to keep my problems to myself, and that asking for help was a sign of weakness or an inability to handle myself. Back then, I also didn't know about caring for my mental health or my emotional health, or ever really understood what self love was. My first time walking into POP was really uneasy for me. I had no idea what I was going to say or how talking to someone was even going to help me if they couldn't fix my problems. But the moment I stepped foot into the counselor's office, I just felt a sense of warmth in the way that she greeted me. In that meeting, I felt that she genuinely cared about what I was saying and validated everything I was feeling. She also affirmed me and reminded me about the positive things in myself, which I had forgotten amidst all the faults I thought I had. At that meeting, not only did she help me with my problems by connecting me to necessary resources and checking up on me afterwards to make sure I was okay, but she also opened my eyes to beginning a road of healing, self-love, and self-confidence to pursue my ambitions and the things that truly make me happy. They taught me to embrace my story and see it as a source of empowerment rather than heavy baggage. They showed me that there was a place for me here on campus where I wouldn't be met with judgment or any expectations. Since then, I've continued to return to EOP as a resource and as a home. I really wanted to give back to this space that gave me the support I needed to thrive here at Cal and to help other students who could easily have been in my situation to make sure they don't feel alone. To let them know that it's okay to ask for help and to give them any means of support in order to succeed at Cal and beyond. So the main takeaway from this story is just find your community at Cal, find some support, and don't be afraid to lean on others when you can't lean on yourself.
Thank you for listening in on another episode of Windows and Mirrors. We hope this story serves as an inspiration and reminder that our lives are ever-changing Kintsugi, and we have the power to recreate and transform our narratives every single day, especially when this puzzle of life seems so difficult. Love and appreciation to everyone listening in, and go Bears!